Hello, everyone. This is Backyard Musings, where we're broadcasting live from Apple Valley, California. I am Steve.
And I'm Scott.
All right, Scott, what do we have today?
So today I thought we'd talk about some more mishaps in the airline industry.
Again?
Yeah, again. Last week we had a plane, a Boeing 757, 757 or 747 that burst into flames on the runway. And it was it was in Miami International Airport. That's a tough one. Another one for Boeing. I mean, you want to comment about that one at all?
Yeah. So this was on the runway. It wasn't in air. It was on the runway.
Says, oh, I'm sorry. You're correct. Midair.
Last week, midair. So imagine you're sitting in your seat. You know, maybe you're trying to sleep, or maybe you're, farting or whatever you're doing, reading something, and you look out the window, and the engine's on fire. What do you do?
Yeah, that would not be good. There's not a whole lot of place to go. I don't remember them handing out a parachute or anything when you got on a commercial airline flight. That's for sure.
Right. So I don't know if they have something in the cockpit that they can press a button for the extinguisher or turn the engine off and restart it in mid-flight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That as a passenger, that's not a question that's usually covered in the pre-flight safety check, right? They don't talk about it.
Right. They don't talk about what to do in case of an engine being on fire. Maybe they might revise their safety briefing and add all these things. The tire may pop off. The door may pop open.
Yeah, engine
fire
start to blow. Yeah, what are you going to do? Use your water bottle.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then crazy.
It is crazy. And then we got another situation where a flight that was getting ready to leave the UK heading to New York, passenger took a seat, a wing seat, and looked out the window and noticed that there were some parts missing. There were some rivets missing from a panel, and they grounded the
rivets. I mean, they're overrated. Who needs them?
Yeah, it was only 4. So yeah, but they. Exactly. What if they don't need them, then why put them on there at all? Just adds expense. But
it's only 4 out of 2,000 on the plane, so 4 out of 2,000.
Yeah, and they grounded the plane, fortunately. But there was comment in the article that said that the plane was definitely worthy to fly, but yet they still grounded it. So thank goodness for that passenger that made us think about it and caught their attention. So
yeah. I mean, would you have the courage? Would I have the courage? I'm sitting in the seat. Hey, that doesn't look right. Bring it up to the flight attendant's attention. Hey, that doesn't look right. And then keep pressing. What's going on? Are we going to take off with 4 missing rivets?
Yeah, I don't even know if I would know enough about the wing or the way it's manufactured to even bring that to somebody's attention, to even know if it's an issue. But I'm glad they did. I'm sure all the other people are glad as well. And then, of course, we've got Boeing again, taking off. Moments before takeoff, they lose just the front wheel came off, rolled away. That was also brought to attention to the pilot, and apparently somebody said that that's definitely a problem. We need to stop the plane.
Was that tightening a nut or a cotter pin?
Again, I'm not an expert on the construction of an airplane or the wheels, but I would hope that in all these cases, I would hope that somebody is dropping the ball here when it comes to inspecting these planes before they take off. I mean, I would think that after they land, somebody's going to go around and at least look to see if like you say, the nuts or whatever are holding these wheels on are secure. It's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, we were talking earlier offline about how the airlines, these aircraft cost $1 billion, and they don't purchase the airlines don't purchase the aircraft. They go to a third party like Air Lease who purchases the aircraft and then leases it to each airline. And so we're talking who's responsible for the maintenance. That we think it's the end user is responsible for the maintenance, right?
I would think so. It's no different than when you buy a car. I mean, you take the car to a mechanic, whether you take it to a dealership or you take it to your own mechanic, or you do the work yourself. Somebody needs to be responsible for the maintenance on it. It's part of the program, I would think. I mean,
I wouldn't think you'd have Boeing or Airbus come back every week to check everything and tighten everything. You'd have that internally.
That would probably be great if they would do that, but I would imagine that that's not part of their lease agreement. So,
so the CEO of Delta, I think it was Delta, maybe it's United, is pushing back against Boeing, saying Boeing should have tighter, stricter programs, quality control to look at these things before they're rolling off the assembly line. But I mean, Boeing and Airbus, they're flying these things and testing them before they sell them, right? It's $1 billion aircraft.
Right. Well, Boeing, I mean, if you remember, Boeing has been taking some pretty big hits. Wasn't it their 737 that was grounded for a bit because they had some issues over the last couple of years?
Yeah, 737 MAX, something like that, MAX.
Right. And I think when you were talking about the CEO, I think it was United is the one that was pushing back on that. But yeah, I would think that they need to take some responsibility as well. I mean, they fly these things multiple times a day, long distances. They're obviously going to take a beating. They're going to take some wear and tear, and they need to. I love it. They make these comments that the crew and the passengers are their largest concern as far as safety goes. With all these mishaps that have been happening, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. So, do
you think that we had a segment on diversity, inclusion, and equity, DEI? Do you think this plays a part in what's happening?
Well, it would definitely be worth a conversation and a look into, because it's if they're what was that topic that we talked about? We talked about them hiring people with disabilities.
The federal government, FAA, hiring people with we listed all the disabilities.
Right, and if they're doing it, then possibly it's being pushed down to the airlines as well, the industry as well. I don't know. It's scary thing. One of the reasons why I don't fly.
Well, I think it was that United Airline. Didn't he dress up in drag? And he was in a drag show, like twerking or something like that.
Kind of doing some kind of twerking or whatever you call it. I'm not exactly familiar with.
So that's coming around to bite him. I mean, these airlines are woke, and they want to have diverse inclusion and equity, but I think equity, it's I've said it before, it's soft bigotry. It brings everything down as far as standards go, so whether it's education, whether it's maintenance, whatever it is, even California Bar is trying to lower the standards for taking the bar exam. So it lowers everything.
It does. Again, if you're going to go to a doctor, you're definitely not going to go to a doctor that didn't do very well in his classes, and you want somebody that's good. If they're going to start probing around in your body. Same thing if you're flying. I mean, if you're up in the air and you're flying, you're in their control. You want the best and the brightest maintaining those airplanes and flying them as well. So,
all right, folks,
and watching out through the skies. So
we're going to be watching this issue carefully, folks. That's all the time we have today. If you like what you saw, click subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies to get on this site and subscribe and listen. I also have a YouTube site for stock investing for beginners. If you don't know anything about stock investing, it's stock investing -basics and advanced. You can go over there and check that out too. Thanks for joining us today.
Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.